Hi, my name is Tony, and today we're going to look at how we can add some filters to your Excel table. We're going to look at how we can use these filters, how we can rearrange the table rows to focus on data you're looking for, how to use the text filter, and also how to look at filtering by colour. So let's go ahead and get straight into this. Now, we're going to use today for ease of reference an ice cream stock list inventory. What this will do is allow you to see hopefully data rows and how you can manipulate this to suit your needs. Basically it has inventory numbers 0001 through to inventory number 0025. Basically 25 different flavours of ice cream. So what we're going to go ahead and do is select the headers or the columns that we want to add a filter to. For here it's going to be B3 through to J3. What I want to do is go and select the headers and columns that you want to add the filter to. Make sure you're on the home column. Go along and press the editing, sort and filter. If you hit the drop down menu, you'll see that there's a button here that lets you apply filter. So this is the one we want to use, which is filter. It looks almost like a golf tee, the icon. As soon as you press that, you'll then see that there's a drop down menu appeared at all of your columns, and that's it. That's your added filter to your table. So the first thing you want to do is, well, now we've added filters to the table, we can then look at some basic ways we can use this filters to help focus on specific items or changing the layout the way we want it to. So if you look at this, you'll see that, as I explained earlier, the inventory is running from 0001 through to inventory 0025, and that, you know this because there's an up arrow telling you it's running from A to Z. If you wanted for some reason to change the inventory to the highest number to lowest number instead of lowest to highest, you can press Z to A. So you can now see that you're going from inventory 25 down to number 1. But for this purpose we'll put it back to where it was. So this is how we found the table today, was by inventory number. You may prefer to have this with an inventory reference using ice cream flavours, and you might want to go from ice cream flavours in alphabetical order instead of inventory number. You can do this quite easily by using the drop down button that you've just added. If you go ahead and then click A to Z, you will then rearrange all the rows of data, and it will then put them in alphabetical order. So you see now that almond, which was previously down in 13th position, has now jumped up to first place in the table. Banana, which was 4th position previously, has now jumped up to 2nd place, and so on and so forth. So it's not actually changed the description, the values, or any values along that row of data. It's only actually moved the rows themselves to your preference, which was to be in alphabetical order. Again, you can see that this is the only column now that has a filter applied of some description, which in this case signifies that there's no filter, as in it's showing all, but it does have the alphabetical A to Z or Z to A pressed. You can tell the difference from A to Z. Again, the up arrow means it's going from A to Z, and the down arrow means it's going Z to A. So if we click on here, you'll see that the arrow should change from an up position to a down position. And you'll see here, it's now then the first position of the table has went from almond to vanilla. So if you want to undo a filter or do whatever you want to do, then you can basically change anything you want to do. You can press the back arrow, or you can just go ahead, as we know it was A to Z, we can go back to A to Z, the way we set up the table. Now before you begin, you'll be able to see that all of the columns and all the filters have the same shape, have the same symbol. This tells you there's no major filters applied, there's no hidden items, there's nothing else there. So say you don't want to have this whole row of data. Say you actually specifically want to, for talking sake, let's say you want to focus directly into, say, green tea, peppermint and raspberry for exact flavours that you're looking for. Instead of pressing the select all, which is the automatic selection function for Excel, you can uncheck the select all box. You can go ahead and go down to green tea, click on that icon, slowly go down again to peppermint, click the box beside peppermint, and then the last one we said was going to be raspberry. So if we go ahead and click on raspberry box, what that will do is it will rearrange your table and only show you the data for the filter that you've applied, which is those 3 items. So here we go, we have the 3 items which you just discussed, which was green tea, peppermint and raspberry, and what it's done is filtered out all of the rest of the rows. There's a few ways you know that this is actually, if someone's coming in and looking at this blankly, that this is had filters applied to it. The first thing is, if you look at the row reference, you see that it jumps from row 3 to row 15, then from 15 to 22, then 22 to 25, so that tells you there's some hidden rows here. The second thing you can do without having to be detective is just look at the symbol. The symbol's changed, and that symbol's changed. If you hover over that icon, you'll see that it has a filter applied to it, and it says equals, and it's got the 3 names, green tea, peppermint and raspberry displayed. So that will tell you that it's filtered, and also you'll see the shape of the icon has went from the normal drop down menu, which is for the filter, to the filter shape and icon which looks almost like a golf tee. So as soon as you see that little shape and icon, you can tell there's been a filter of some description applied to it before you even hover over it or before you go into that data in any detail. So how do we go ahead and get the rest of the information back? You're focusing that data, you've took whatever you need out of it, then what you would do is you can either go ahead and press select all, or my preference is always to go to clear filter from ice cream flavour, or clear the filter from this section. And that would put you back to where it was. So you'll see that this again has all the rows selected. You have 25 different flavours and there's no hidden rows, they're all in numerical order. So you'll see here, they're all in numerical order as well. So that's us back to where it was. So another useful filter that you could use in the table would be the text filter. So let's stick again with the ice cream flavours. And if we want to go to a text filter, you'll see there's an actual box here that says text filter down here. So if you click on or hover over the text filter, it will bring up a submenu. And what we're looking today is to look at contains. So if we say text filter contains, so if you click that, it will bring up another pop-up box. It's really easy to use, and say for instance we want to see what type of flavours or how many items in my menu do I have that have the word mint within the table. Without having to go and pre-select and check it all, if you use the text filter option of mint, this will bring up in the table how many of your options have the word mint within it. So we get mint, mint chocolate chip and peppermint. So what that has done is automatically filtered out all the rest of the flavours and just left you with the words that are mint. There's another thing you can do. If you know that you're going to look for a word or a phrase that's contained within your table or within your list, for me it's easy because it's flavours, but if I only knew that it was a partial word like mint, I could go ahead and use the word mint. Or so let's use a different example this time. Let's use the word berry. If I want to go ahead and I'm not sure how many items in my menu contain berry, you can go ahead and use the search box directly beneath text filters, and then you'll see before I've even hit the return button, I will come up with 4 different results. If I just click on OK, there you go. I've automatically created a filter to search for berry command, and it can be quite helpful if you know there's a part of a word or a subtext or a sub number. It will look through that entire list and show you everything that contains that exact reference or that exact phrase. Now another option as well, say we've just looked for something quite simple, which was search for. If we use text filter and we know that we're sick of seeing mint or we're sick of seeing berry, if we go to text filters, what we can do is do a text search for does not contain. So this time we know that we've just spent ages, we've done inventory for berry to death. What we can do is customize this to say that we want to search for everything that does not contain the word berry. So this time you'll see that there's nothing in here. Again, the filter's been applied. If you hover over it, it will say that it does not contain berry. And if we click down the list, we should see nothing with the word berry in the title. And again, if you look closely to the left hand menu, you'll see that the reference has changed here. You'll see that there's a column missing between 5 and 7. There's another column missing, must be further down the table somewhere, between columns 24 and 28 are missing as well. So that's another way you can use the search function. You can look for a particular phrase by doing the contains. You can do the text filter contains. You can do the shortcut if you're looking for the exact term, or if there's an exact term you're not looking for, just use the does not contain option. So another thing that happens if you're sharing this Excel or your own Excel with colleagues, they might want to add more value or give you some feedback about your data itself without maybe changing the contents. What I mean by that is they might have used a filter or a colour or a key code of some description to try and give you more feedback. So if you look at this second tab that I've created, I'm going to use this as if my colleague or my teammate has managed to return my table with some comments. Now there's no other comments section, there's nothing else. All I have to go with is the colours within my table, which you can see there's a few that have changed. And right at the very bottom they've left me this little handy key which says that everything with a red background, red cell background, is not selling well. Green background cell colour is very popular, which is selling fast. And the very last thing in the table they're showing me is it's selling very slowly. This time it doesn't have a cell colour, it's got a font colour difference. So what we can do is go ahead, go back up to the same filter, and this time we can use the filter by colour option. So if we click on the filter by colour, the first cell reference that stands out here is the red. If you click on this colour, what this will do is it will just focus straight in on the one item that my colleague wanted to bring to my attention. So I can see straight away that this one, which is lavender, has £844 worth of stock left. Now they might have wanted to bring this to my attention to either sanction a reduction in price or look for a promotion, or maybe not to restock this product in the future. The point is, the highlighted red cells quickly brought this to my attention, and if you use that command, then you can focus your attention on that one item and act accordingly. Now this time what I want to do is filter by colour, and I want to jump to green. Now if you're filtering by colours, you can quickly just change the colour itself. There's no need to go up to the clear filter, then add the filter by cell colour to be from red to green. You can just go ahead and click on the green straight away. And because that filter will swap over from red to green, it will just display the green command. So if you remember, and it says down here, the green cell colour, background colour that is, would be very popular, selling fast. So again, my colleague might have brought that to my attention to let me know that in this instance, mint, peppermint and cream soda are selling very quickly. There's a few things again I can do with this data. I can see that there's not much in stock remaining. I do have some reordering levels which is below that reorder level, so I know there's already stock coming in from a reorder point of view. Therefore, I should be good to go. Again, the purpose is that by giving me a description of a colour, I'm able to use that colour filter and be able to hone straight into that data. And I could, if I needed to, order more products in case we run out. So let's go to the last filter by colour, and this time we want to go for filter by font colour instead of filter by cell colour. And the last option is red. And you'll see from the key that the colleague or my teammate wanted to tell me that these products weren't selling very well. They're selling very slowly, I think the exact phrase was. So you'll see here that there's quantity in stock's 200. There's over £800 worth of stock between these two items, and there's 150 reorder level if it was to drop below the 100. But the point is, it doesn't seem to be selling very well, which is a good point. I might be able to act on that. I might be able to do something, reductions, sales, promotions, something. But the point is, I've basically received that item loud and clear. I can hone in on that table, and just by applying the filter by colour, I can see that what the issue is, and I can deal with it straight away. That's it for this tutorial. I hope this was useful. Please subscribe to my channel for more Excel tutorials and walkthroughs. Thanks in advance.